All right, welcome back to INTY Center. I'll let you know that the day drinking continues. We have switched glasses because we have switched beers. And I would like to point out that regardless of beer choice, the Office of the Commissioner is neutral towards all teams. We are not playing favorites. Even if the name of this beer, I know you can't see it because the background slash filter, whatever you want to call it, maybe each other right there. Yes, that's right. This beer is called Lloyd's Christmas. Doesn't mean that we're favoring any team or any GM. Just throwing it out there. This beer is delicious. Probably not as good as Great Lakes Christmas Ale, but I also may be obligated to prefer Great Lakes Christmas Ale because I am a Clevelander and it's against the law here to not prefer that as your Christmas ale. Anyways, let us go ahead and hop into the penultimate week of spring training. And we're going to start by telling you that Bullet Joe Rogan is really rounding into form. He tossed 6 scoreless innings. He scored a run, so he scored more runs than he gave up. And Gales of November are going to win that one against Albuquerque. I didn't write down the score. I think it was 6-0. So yeah, Bullet Joe Rogan really rounding into form. Uh, Trade rumor target Salvador Perez. We haven't even played a game. We've got trade targets. Hey, he had himself a game. He had a homer. He had 2 ribbies. He scored 2 runs. Bleach. Burning Strangers of Bleach take down Game of Thrones 6-5. Albert Pujols smacked a couple of homers. Albuquerque wins for the third time. They beat the Bandwagoners 7-5. Joe Mauer, Freddie Lindstrom, they both homer off Jacob deGrom. This time there would be no deGromination. San Diego Surfers top the Enhancers 9-6. It was the Barry Bonds and Bob Feller show on St. Patty's Day for the Bandwagoners, though. Feller tossed 5 innings of 2-hit ball. Bonds hit a pair of 2-run homers. The Bandwagoners beat the Free Fallers 6-1. Barry Larkin and David Justice homered for Bleach, but it wasn't enough. Birmingham takes that one 6-5. Ted Williams had a pair of runs batted in. Hilton Smith tossed 4 1-hit innings. Now, we had a beauty of a game between Atlanta and the Northern Shores on the 18th. Don Drysdale goes 6 innings. He gives up 1 run on 2 hits. Ray Brown goes 5 innings. He gives up 1 run on 2 hits, and we stay tied at 1 until the 11th inning. In the top of the 11th, Craig Kimbrell uncorks a wild pitch that lets Dave Cash score, and it puts Atlanta up 2-1. In the bottom of the inning, Elmer Flick gets a leadoff single, gets the tying run on base, but Justin Morneau hits into a double play. Lonnie Frey flies out on the first pitch he sees, and it's beginning to feel a lot like FODEUSS. Not only are we getting exciting baseball games, but Minnesota Jedi is getting his hopes up only to see them crushed in only the way that FODEUSS and his real life sports teams can. Jocko Milligan, Dan Bruthers, George Brett, Jimmy Fox, Turkey Stearns, and my grandmother all homered for the San Francisco Six Demon Bags of Phoenix. They take down Game of Thrones 16-3. Looking forward to this preseason hit barrage for Wang, turning out to being more like a preseason hit mirage, since we all know how his offense ends up going. Hey, after that, we had our second and final scheduled day off during spring training. And you know what? It feels like we haven't talked about Dickie Thon enough on any center. So let's highlight him. He had 2 hits. That includes a triple. He had 5 runs batted in. Amazing. Score 14 runs. They take down Reseda 14-3. We also had plenty of offense in the Atlanta versus every city game. Atlanta pounded out 16 hits. 3 of those hits came from Pudge Rodriguez. They scored 13 runs. Those runs include home runs from Pudge as well as from Stuffy McInnes. The Bandwagoners, though, they pound out 17 hits, and those turned into 17 runs. 3 hits each from Adrian Beltre and my son's favorite player, Stephen Kwan. They get a homer from Reggie Jackson. They win it 17-13. We'll wrap up the final day of this week. And let me just take a moment and note that no matter how many seasons we do this, it will always be fucking cool to have Greg Maddux versus John Smoltz in similar games. Maddux, by the way, tossed 6 shutout innings in that one to beat John Smoltz. Elsewhere, Bob Gibson tossed 5 shutout innings. Sithy beats Reseda 6-0. Satchel Paige tossed 5 innings, giving up just 1 hit. Diamondbacks, though, dropped that one 10-2. Diamondbacks getting a great start and losing anyways. Again, some things are just meant to be. How about Greg Nettles, though? He hit his 5th homer of the spring. The Gales in November beat Game of Thrones 8-3. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. We've got 4 games left in spring training. Stone Temple Seattle Pilots have the best record at 26. They're 3 games ahead of Amazings and Sandlot. Over in the accurate length of a Star Destroyer division, it's the Demonbags leading the pack at 19-7. They're 4 games up on a trio of teams. Cy Seymour is your new qualified batting leader with a 464 average. Mike Schmidt's homers lead the pack still. He's got 9 of those. Joe Morgan is now tied atop the RBI leading board at 23 with Cleveland's own Big Ed Delahunty. Tommy Holmes has a 1.488 OPS to lead the league, and Ty Cobb has overtaken Yui from the boys for the stolen base lead. Cobb has nabbed 13 bags in spring training. Catchers, be warned. This is going to be a season with a lot of stolen bases. Our new qualified pitching leader for ERA is none other than Kent Tekulve. Kent Tekulve. What the fuck ever. You guys don't want to know how many beers I am into the day. You know who I'm talking about. The guy that Heels is going to trade for. His ERA sits at 1.17. Denny Driscoll, he's holding opponents to a 160 average. And Randy Johnson is continuing to be a strikeout machine. I think that's going to be a trend that continues into the regular season. I think Johnson's going to be phenomenal. He might win Cy Young. He's got 31 strikeouts so far in spring training. That comes out to 11.8 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's going to do it for INTY Center. I'm going to go make some of you guys cry when I post the injury recap. I said 2 in the thread. It's actually 3 at least season-ending injuries. I haven't checked it after the last set of games. At least one of those will make you cry. We got 1 more week, 4 games left in spring training, so we'll see you one more time this weekend for a whip around spring training FODEUSS on INTY Center.